Are you looking for the most delicious cookies? Well, these Copycat Crumbl cookies will hit the spot. They are Snickerdoodle cookies with the most delicious cream cheese frosting. So keep watching because we're making them right now. The first thing we are going to do is cream together our butter and sugar. I have half a cup of butter right here, or 1 stick, and it is at room temperature, so it's a little soft. And to that, I'm going to add in half a cup of granulated sugar, along with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now I'm just going to beat this together for about 1 to 2 minutes until everything is creamed together. Next, I can add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, along with 1 egg. And now we can just give this a quick beat together. Now we can start to add in our dry ingredients, and here I have 1.5 cups of just all-purpose flour, along with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I also have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of baking powder, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And now we can just give this a quick beat together. We don't want to overmix it, so I'm going to have it at a very low speed, and I'm just going to stop once all the flour is mixed in. Now that our dough has come together like so, I can go get my baking tray along with some cinnamon and sugar to roll my dough in. Okay, here we have 3 tablespoons of sugar, and to that I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of cinnamon and just give this a little stir to let it be fully combined. And now I'm using about a tablespoon for each cookie, and we can just roll it in our cinnamon sugar to let it get completely coated, and then put it on our greased baking sheet. And I try to make all my cookies around the same size. You can do them as big or as small as you want though. This one is completely up to you. But I don't recommend too small because we are going to ice them, and you do want a little bit of a surface area for that. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me to continue doing my channel and creating more and more recipes. Okay, now I have all of my cookies. I do like these pretty spaced out because they do spread in the oven, so you don't want them too close together. And I have my oven set for 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I can go pop these babies in, and I'm going to check them after 10 minutes, see if they need a few minutes more, but it's usually around 10 to 15 minutes. Now that our cookies are out of the oven and cooling, we can start on our icing. For our icing, I'm actually doubling the recipe because I like to do a really pretty pipe swirl on, and that takes up a lot of icing. And in the past making these, I always ran out about halfway through my cookies. So I'm doubling the recipe today, but if you're not a huge icing person, you can split this in half. But here I have 10 ounces of cream cheese that's nice and soft at room temperature, along with 8 tablespoons of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now I'm just going to cream this together for about 2 minutes until everything is combined and it's really creamy and smooth. Now that I've beat together my butter and cream cheese, I can slowly start to add in my powdered sugar. And I have already sifted my powdered sugar, and I really recommend sifting because this ensures that you have a really silky smooth icing, where if you don't sift, sometimes you can get those grainy particles of sugar. And I have 3 cups of powdered sugar. I can use anywhere between 2.5 cups to 3 cups. I'm going to check it about halfway through and see the consistency because we do want this to be a fairly thick icing. So I can slowly start to add in my sugar. And this is the consistency I want. It's nice and stiff, and I actually did not need all my sugar today. So I'm going to put, this is about 1/2 cup. I'm just gonna put this back in the bag. So I only used about 2.5 cups for my icing, and I like that. Less calories, you know, we're being healthy. So I'm just going to go get my cookies now. Now that our cookies are cooled, we can ice them. And what I'm doing is I transferred my icing to a piping bag, and I'm going in a circular motion starting at the middle of my cookie The next thing is completely optional, but I like to sprinkle some of my leftover cinnamon sugar mixture on top of these cookies. And this recipe makes about a dozen cookies, maybe 13. I kind of ate one right when they came out of the oven, you know, just to test them out. So now we have 12 cookies. Wow. These are so good. See, I love cookies, and this is one of my favorite cookies. They are so good. They're perfectly sweet, and they have that nice crumble that Crumbl cookies have. So I think these are just an absolute hit. So please let me know if you try them and what you think in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see some more homemade dessert recipes, there should be a playlist right here or over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Bye for now. And don't forget to check back in next Sunday because we are making another Copycat Crumbl cookies recipe. They are cheesecake cookies with a cream cheese frosting and some homemade caramel sauce. They are out of this world. See you then.